Yo, imagine your HOA telling you that you can't even invite your own family for Thanksgiving. Like, are we serious right now? Well, they messed with the wrong neighbor. 'Cause instead of canceling dinner, I threw the biggest backyard Thanksgiving this neighborhood has ever seen. And trust me, it got messy. I never thought Thanksgiving, the one holiday my family looks forward to every year, would become a battlefield. But then again, I also never thought I'd live under an HOA that acted more like a miniature dictatorship than a community board. It all started 3 days before Thanksgiving. Cold morning, frost on the lawns, and a white envelope taped to every single door in Maple Ridge Estates. These envelopes were never good news. They were warnings, fines, threats disguised as policy updates. But this one took things to a whole new level. I peeled it off my door, already annoyed, opened it, and instantly felt my blood pressure spike. It read, effective immediately, no household within Maple Ridge Estates may host gatherings exceeding four non-resident guests during the Thanksgiving holiday period. All violations will result in immediate fines and potential suspension of HOA privileges. For guests, my family alone was 10 people. And for the last 14 years, I had hosted Thanksgiving dinner in my backyard. It was tradition. It was home. It was family. I reread the letter hoping maybe, just maybe, I misunderstood something. But nope. They seriously banned Thanksgiving gatherings. I stepped outside and immediately saw neighbors doing the same thing. Standing in pajamas, angry letters in their hands, faces twisted with confusion. Is this a joke? What authority do they even have? This can't be legal. Everyone was talking at once. And then, like she planned it, like she was waiting, Margaret Ellsworth appeared. The HOA president. A woman whose personality could best be described as a perpetual thundercloud with a superiority complex. She walked the street with her clipboard tucked against her chest, chin raised like a queen inspecting peasants. One neighbor confronted her. This is insane, Margaret. We all have families coming. Margaret didn't care. She never cared. It's for community safety, she replied without even stopping. We must limit traffic, noise, congestion, and risk. Traffic? On Thanksgiving? In a cul-de-sac? It was the fakest excuse I'd ever heard. I called out to her. Margaret, this isn't enforceable. State law protects holiday gatherings. She smiled. One of those smug, icy smiles that said she'd been waiting for this moment. This is our neighborhood, and this is our policy. You will comply. Then she walked away. I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not frustration, something deeper. A line had been crossed, and I wasn't about to let it slide. That night, the neighborhood group chat exploded. People were furious, scared, unsure what to do. Some said they'd cancel Thanksgiving. Some said they'd risk it and hope no one reported them. Some said they were taking their dinner to a restaurant to avoid confrontation. But then, around 11 p.m., I got a knock at my door. It was Tom, my neighbor from across the street. Nervous, sweaty, eyes darting like he was doing something illegal. I need 5 minutes, he whispered. We stepped inside. Tom pulled a stack of printed emails from his jacket. And when I read them, everything suddenly made sense. Margaret didn't implement the Thanksgiving guest limit for safety. She did it for money. According to the emails, the HOA was planning a paid holiday dinner experience inside the community center. Catered, decorated, music, drinks, all funded using HOA money, but with residents charged $50 per plate. And the kicker? Margaret wrote, in her own email, if residents are allowed to host family gatherings at home, attendance at our event will be significantly lower. She banned Thanksgiving gatherings because she didn't want competition. I leaned back in my chair, stunned. She wasn't protecting the community. She wasn't enforcing a rule. She was running a holiday scam, and she expected everyone to just obey. Tom cleared his throat. I can't let her get away with this, he said. But if she finds out I leaked these, she'll make my life hell. I promised him I'd handle everything. After he left, I stared at the evidence for a long time. The emails, the illegal use of funds, the fake policy, the manipulation. This wasn't about Thanksgiving anymore. This was about control, about power, about a woman who believed the entire neighborhood existed to serve her ego. I knew what I had to do. I opened my laptop, started typing, researching state laws, studying HOA bylaws, cross-checking policies, pulling public records, and by sunrise, I had everything I needed. Margaret filed the Thanksgiving policy without a board vote. She used HOA funds without member approval. She created a rule that violated state housing laws. And worst of all, she tried to control how people spent a holiday with their families. I closed the folder of evidence and whispered, "This Thanksgiving, I'm done playing nice." Thanksgiving morning arrived crisp and quiet. The kind of morning where you can smell the cold in the air. But in my backyard, it looked like a festival. Long wooden tables, fall-colored runners, borrowed chairs from half the neighborhood, string lights zigzagging overhead, 3 smokers in the corner turning turkey into pure magic, kids' tables, craft stations, pumpkins everywhere, a fire pit for the night. I hadn't just decided to host dinner. I decided to host the biggest Thanksgiving this neighborhood had ever seen. Every family who got banned by Margaret, I invited them. My yard was about to become the rebellion center of Maple Ridge Estates. By 3 p.m., guests were trickling in. By 4 p.m., the entire place was alive. Laughter, smells of food, kids running around, moms setting dishes on the tables, dads helping bring out chairs. It felt like everything Thanksgiving was supposed to be. And that's exactly when they showed up. I spotted them from the end of the driveway. Margaret, 2 board members, and a rented security guard. She walked toward my backyard like she was leading a raid, clipboard in hand, jaw clenched, eyes burning with self-righteous anger. She stepped inside my yard and held up the clipboard like it was a weapon. "This gathering is illegal," she yelled, loud enough to stop the music. "You are in violation of HOA holiday policy." The entire backyard fell silent. People froze with plates in their hands. Kids stopped running. Even the fire crackled quieter. I stepped forward. "Actually, no, I'm not." She smirked. "Don't embarrass yourself. You have over 30 guests. That's 30 violations." I handed her a folder. She flipped through the pages: emails, receipts, bylaws, state codes. Her eyes widened. "What? How did you? This is private HOA communication." "No," I said calmly. "It's evidence of misuse of funds and an illegally implemented policy." Her face twisted into panic. "You stole these documents." "No," I replied. "Someone on the board gave them to me, because they're tired of you treating the HOA like your personal empire." She tried to speak, but footsteps behind her interrupted. 2 police officers walked into the yard. Someone must have called them. Maybe Margaret. Maybe a neighbor worried things would escalate. Margaret rushed to the officers. "Officer, shut this gathering down immediately. These people are violating HOA rules." One officer took my folder. He read quietly for a moment. Then he looked at Margaret. "Ma'am, you're in violation of state housing law. This policy is not valid. It was never approved by the board. And you attempted to use HOA funds for a private paid event." A collective gasp rippled through the yard. The officer continued, "Multiple residents have filed complaints. You're being removed from active duty pending investigation." Margaret's face went white. Her mouth opened but no words came out. The board members took a step away from her like she was radioactive. And then, as the officers escorted her down the driveway, the entire backyard erupted in applause. People clapped, cheered, whistled. Kids waved napkins in the air like victory flags. Thanksgiving wasn't canceled. Thanksgiving wasn't controlled. Thanksgiving wasn't banned. Thanksgiving was saved. And when the sun dipped low and the string lights turned golden, the whole neighborhood shared dinner at one long table. Families who barely knew each other. Neighbors who hadn't spoken in years. Kids who'd never played together before. People laughed, told stories, passed plates, made memories. Near the end of the night, Tom stood and raised his glass. To the man who saved Thanksgiving. But I shook my head. No, we all did this together. Because Thanksgiving isn't about rules, or HOA politics, or fines. It's about family, about community, about gratitude. And this year, we had all three.